Welcome, welcome, welcome to another adventure into comedy. Fair warning, we intend to offend. I am joined by Sir Monty Dean, Lord of Comedy. Welcome, Monty. How are you doing today?
I am well, my lord. I've woken up on a full moon with an eclipse, and yeah,
Have you
I'm
really
drinking.
have you really awoken, Lord Monty?
No, I
Are you
woke
not,
up.
or is there just a servant inside your body right now?
This soulless meat sack has moved from the bedroom to the office, so
And
it's still.
your long commute from your room to your computer, there
Oh,
was there much traffic?
oh, there was a cat. It took a while, but I got there in the end. I left early. Why is there a cow there?
Because every show I start in the chat room with meow meow meow, and
Yes.
people respond woof woof ribbit ribbit knee knee, and Robert is doing his dry comedy in the background.
Nice. Oh, and then look, a real person. Hello.
Yes, Nicola, hello. So,
Hello there.
fair warning, we intend to offend. If you have a delicate sensibility, this is not the show for you. If you are a light worker with a stick up your ass so far it comes out your mouth, this isn't the place for you. We are going to look at everything, and it all be a target for comedy's sake. We intend to use comedy in such ways that it'll go after consciousness, that it will tickle you in such a way that you may fart or pee yourself. So, Monty Dean, as we are might be waiting for Lord of the Bathtub David. It just messaged me saying he's getting into the tub right now. So he will be joining us from the tub in just a little bit. But let's set up some comical moments here as somebody is trying to call me during a live show. I hate that. For that person who's probably fucking listening to this show, stop calling me during my live shows. Fuck you.
I've seen that at a stand-up comedy show. I think it was Lenny Henry here in Melbourne, and someone tried to get a interview autograph from him halfway through a sketch on stage. It's like, not now. Go to the stage door, and that's how I met. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I'll meet him at the stage door. I've actually had the guitarist from Anthrax. Like, people try and get autographs halfway through a song on stage. Like, I'm working. Hello.
Yes. Anyways, so I'm going to set you up, Monty. We have had some, let's just say, unrest in our world.
Oh, you've noticed that, have you? Oh, yeah. Was that mentioned on the news?
Yeah, just a little bit, just a wee little bit. Okay.
Bad.
So there are so many things going on that we could poke fun at. So many things that we could, I don't know, rip a new butthole to. But right now, we're in a state where we can use this comedy to break down some serious shit so people can just let down. What is our first target today?
Well, I'll just get it out there and like put the crack in the crystal dam and let it all unfold and collapse. But ladies and gentlemen, past lives matter. Did you know? I'm just pointing out. There's your new hashtag. Past lives matter.
That's right. Past lives matter.
Well, hello. Well, that's an interesting bathroom we have turning up now.
That would be the bald headed of David as he's trying to connect to audio. As his phone's gonna fall in the tub.
Is he naked? Well, that's a bit personal.
I think Tanya will be worrying about that.
We are recording this live, just in case.
Hello. You just have to unmute David.
So we'll get 20 minutes out of the bathtub humor, and then we'll get back to past lives matter.
Yes.
It's in the past, though.
Ha ha. As David's trying to figure out how to mute when the
There we are.
Hello, David.
How are you?
We are doing good. Here you are in the bathtub, shattering the hearts of many.
How are you?
We are doing good. What is going on in David's land?
Well, I was a little late coming back home, but I finally got into the tub and I'm here.
So you got your rubber ducky?
How are you doing?
We are doing good today, David, and we are just about to take the piss out of a new subject matter.
So tell me, what's happening?
What is happening? Comedy is happening. Uniqueness is happening. As everybody is going, oh my God, David is in the bathtub. As we've now had 3 callers from the bathtub. We've had 3 callers in the bathtub. Now, David was supposed to be on the show 2 weeks ago, but he had some severe internet problems. But as promised, here is David in the bathtub. And he's not holding puppies and kittens and selling calendars.
How's it going?
It's going very good over here, David. We were just talking about some of the unrest in the world, and Monty was just making a statement that past lives matter.
Past lives matter. That's funny.
Yes.
That's funny.
And Monty was telling me before the break about some of the strange things they have in the marches in Sydney that are going on right now. Just the most unusual of rules. Monty, you care to bring in there?
Well, because the pandemic lockdown's still in force down here in Australia, because we live very far. We could see the Earth from here because of the pollution's cleared up. And there is only allowed to have 20 people in a group, so they're probably going to have social distancing at a protest, if you can figure that one out, as well as a lot of it comes across very racist, where if you're a white person, don't say anything. You're only there for the body. If you get up to the front, don't say anything. You're just there to support and not actually express yourself. If a black person tells you to do something, you do it out question, and so on and so forth. It's basically, instead of, they call for unity, but it's very, in a way, I see
totalitarian. Totalitarian.
Yeah, I don't know if it's society. It's sort of very similar to the gender war, where feminists seem to be acting male, if you know what I mean. Where it's like, well, males do this and this and this. Well, you're doing the same. Shut up, male. They're becoming the monsters.
Did you guys see Did you guys see the article of this white guy who is at the protest, but he's looting, but he's stealing Lego?
Yes.
No, I didn't see that.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Did you see the other one where it was a white guy with a gas mask, and some young black kid comes up and goes, "You're a cop. I know you from my neighborhood." And then a bunch of other guys jump on top of him and rip his mask off and expose him for who he is.
Yep.
He's a white cop in
Why
Philadelphia.
why are cops rioting?
Who's putting the bricks up? The piles of bricks in all the cities. That's another good one.
Yeah, not just bricks lying around, actual pallets of bricks.
Actual pallets of bricks.
Believe me when I tell you, no protester in their right mind is putting up pallets of bricks.
Right, those things ain't cheap. They're like $2,000 a pallet.
If I saw a pallet, it's like, oh, I can make a barbecue in the back. Dave, quick, get a wheelbarrow. We can make barbecues in the backyard.
Hilarious.
And they're called Acme bricks. That's the actual name.
Yes.
As well. It's.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, the company is from is an Acme. It's a free, and Alan as well. Thank you. Yeah, Freemasonry.
Freemasonry's putting the bricks out for everyone. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, of course, yes. But you've seen great things as well. Where did you see the photo of I think about 8 or 9 black gentlemen defending a Hispanic cop who was separated from the other police?
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, and it's like you can't do, the whole labels like, you know, all white people are racist, all blacks are criminals. It's like, well, no, and it's the amount of protesters. There's a difference. But rioting is not protesting. I know you know this, but a lot of protesters are trying to shut down the rioting as well. Yeah, I've seen one. I think it was in Austin. There was a white woman saying, "Please stop looting. You're going to make Trump's going to get in. It's going to be you're going to get Trump re-elected." But no one, everyone ignored it. But it's
this is America. You don't look. Come on, you don't need to. You don't need to do anything for Trump to get reelected. I wonder about the people who are still on his side with regard to this stuff. You know, I wonder about that. If imagine being a Trump supporter right now. What is it that you tell yourself?
Oh no, they just listen to Q, and Q says follow the plan, and they believe everything.
Well, and not to defend Trump, but I'm 50-50. I can see why people hate him because I don't want to meet the guy. But the other option at the moment is Biden, who has dementia.
Well, he's not at full dementia. That's not full dementia, but it'll definitely affect him in his office.
He doesn't know where he is now.
Monty, would you rather a president who is vindictive in the office or someone who can't even remember what the nuclear launch codes are?
Not remembering not remembering where the nuclear launch codes are, definitely.
Well, okay. On that point, I concede. However, the gaffes that Biden's doing, apparently he can beat, he has said that he will beat Ronald Reagan. He will also beat Joe Biden. Apparently he thinks he's running against himself. And it's just... it's sad and comedic at the same time. It's a 50-50 as well. Mind you, it just proves the whole system's corrupt. But and being an outsider, it's so weird where I figured it out from Melbourne to Minneapolis with George Floyd, which does sound like a Boy George Pink Floyd cover band, by the way. George Floyd, they're very good. It's about 9,500 miles away, and they're protesting that. Like in England, which is 4,000 miles away, they're protesting the killing of George Floyd. And like, okay,
well, the cops in England are too much better. Yeah, the cops in England are too much better.
Oh no! That
Montreal. Montreal?
Yeah, they're rioting there too.
Like in Montreal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where they aren't rioting. They aren't rioting in mainland China. They know what that gets them. They know what happens.
Yeah, they tried to have their little candle vigil, and that got interrupted.
Interrupted.
That's the official term, interrupted.
Yeah, that's the official Chinese put out. Yeah, we interrupted the vigil. It was inconvenient for us.
Yes, with tanks and nightsticks and complete violence. So, yeah. And Hong Kong's doing well. Right.
Well, that's where they tried to have their vigil, in Hong Kong, and it got interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah, here in Australia, though, it has brought out the Aboriginals dying in custody, which I think over the last 30 years, it's up to 400 and no one's been charged or anything. So there's an element of that. But they're getting to the point, they're so angry that they believe, white people are the devil. And it's like, how can... it's just causing more division.
No. I don't want to thank Sarah Thomas Lyons for this one. It's the Organ Harvest Festival in China.
You come in tent. You lie down on table. Everything fine. Okay.
Yes. Watch fireworks.
Yeah. Does this smell like chloroform? Does it smell like chloroform to you? And of course, the
Organ Harvest Festival.
And this is the Chinese government today have come out and said, they've sent a warning to their populace not to go to Australia because of racism. because the Chinese government are very good at their human rights, well, apart from putting the Muslims and the Christians and everyone into their little camps, and they're highly racist. They believe that they have North America because they discovered it first.
Monty.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah. Yes, David.
I heard that an Australian news crew got roughed up by police. Actually saw it. All right. Are they okay? They're good?
Yeah, Australians, we like to drink beer and punch each other. Apparently, they look like the rioters, which is like, well, what? You want them to wear pink hazmat suits so they stand out?
They didn't look like rioters. They were carrying $30,000 cameras and a flak vest that said "press" on front.
Yeah, which is target in police talk.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they attacked CNN, but CNN's been on your side for years with all this.
But that was all agent provocateurs attacking CNN.
Yeah.
That was probably done by CNN for ratings.
Oh, geez, these riots are going off. I've got an idea. What if... Yeah, funny.
Imagine being in that marketing room for CNN.
What if they attack us? We'll get great ratings. Oh yeah,
Hitler did it.
Publicity.
Hitler did it. We could do it for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Because apparently Hitler's the only evil dictator on the planet. They never bring up Stalin. I mean, Hitler was a meth head who went insane. Then you had Stalin, who was a paranoid alcoholic
that did lots of psychedelics. They don't tell you that about Lenin.
Look, I think Hitler became very popular because of that mustache, that really messed up mustache. Like, people are like, no, on top of everything else, you have a piece of mustache on your face. No.
I just had an image of Stalin at a Russian rave. I'm like, kill them. Yeah, kill them. Kill them. Put them in the gulag.
Well, it definitely that mustache that Hitler had really lowered the value of mustache rides.
No, he was collecting snot and mucus for his scientific experiments. That's the only reason that's there. And Chaplin did it first, and Hitler was a massive Chaplin fan until he saw The Great Dictator, and then he banned Charlie Chaplin films in Germany.
Did?
Yeah, he did. There's a lot. Chaplin was his own political activist during his day.
Oh, I didn't know
what he did.
Oh yeah. So David, how does it feel broadcasting from the bathtub?
It's actually quite liberating, I have to say, because I am actually in the bathtub right now, and it's kind of cool, actually. Now I see what our listeners get out of this. This is really cool. I'm just here chilling out, and it's kind of it takes all the nervousness out of the broadcast, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I had any to start with, but now I definitely don't have any. I want to be anxious about two things. This phone dropping from my hand, that would be bad. Very, very bad. This phone dropping from my hand, and just the acoustics in there are pretty bad, though. You got to get it right.
So for all the audience members who are listening in their bathtub right now, and anyone who's not in their bathtub, we encourage you to start your bathtub. The only callers we will take today are from those that are in bathtubs.
Safety first. Pointing that out. Safety first.
So if you want to be a caller today and want to join us in the bathtub, you must come to zoom.us, and the meeting number is 911-001-1974. And on the right side of the screen, there is all the information for you to dial in via a phone. And if you want to be a caller on the comedy show today, you must be in your bathtub. Kitchen sink does not count.
Wait, Andrew. We got to put in some restrictions here. You got to be in the bathtub. There will be no lotion in the bathtub.
There'll be no lotion in the bathtub.
Bathtubs matter.
Bathtubs matter. So you must be in the bathtub, and you must not drop your phone.
Yeah, no deaths on you. We'll die from bad comedy jokes. We don't want actually you to, mind you, Andrew. You'll be able to communicate them if they do die, which would be a lot of yelling and screaming from their end, I guess. When they transfer over, oh, that was funny. I'm dead, thank you.
Yeah, shit happens.
Hey, I know a lot of stuff now.
Collars must be in the bathtub. Exactly. So let's pick a subject matter. We're going to ask the audience what do you want us to take the piss out of today? So go on over to the chat room, wiggle up your little fingers, and give us a subject matter in which we should take this piss out of.
Well, I like KS's response. No cell phone brutality. You know, don't keep those phones alive, ladies and gentlemen.
Tub of connectivity. You are one with the bathtub. Elon Musk, yes, he just launched his rocket during all the riots and made $790 million overnight.
And I've seen the meme as well. It's like 4 men were shot into space, and if I had the opportunity, I would leave Earth too at the moment. So good luck, sirs.
He's getting into fights with everyone. You realize that. He's in a fight with Jeff Bezos. Nothing funnier than watching 2 billionaires fight over social media.
Yeah, he still believes we're in a simulation, and he's doing the whole transhumanism thing. Oh, excuse me. And he's defying the social distance laws, and he wants to move his company from California as well. And I think the popularity of him doing Joe Rogan's gone to his head. Mind you, he does come across as special. If you've seen the interviews with him, he seemed better in the first one. He was drunk and stoned, but the second one,
with him messing with that kid's name?
It's supposed to mean Ash. That's what the name is supposed to mean. It's just a unique way of putting the letters together, but they changed it again. Yeah,
because it was unpronounceable, or they weren't allowed to, or something like that. So.
No, people couldn't figure out how to conjoin the words, even though it's if you enunciate it by phonetics, it's Ash.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, phonetically spelled.
Really? It's a Ash. Baby. It's a baby. You know that baby's growing up with issues, right?
And its name's different. Yeah, it's got issues already.
It's got issues because daddy's very rich, and then you gave it that name. Yes.
Well, how many satellites has he put up into space, and people connected to the 5G? And I know, Andrew, you mentioned it's actually to help boost just replace the old satellites in a way because of all the energy that's coming into the planet. And
we're on a solar minimum now, and the solar maximum will begin probably the end of the year. Who knows? It all depends on if the sun's going to be lazy or not. And the majority of the satellites up there were not created for a solar maximum. That's going to be much stronger than it was the previous 20 years. So a lot of satellites, were already on the edge of functionality. And, the last time we had a super X-class storm, it took out like some major satellites that had to be rapid launched in space to fix it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to manifest this, but I wouldn't be upset if there was an EMP and wiped half this stuff. That's why I don't use the cloud, or I buy vinyl or books or CDs. I like physical stuff. I think isn't that a Hopi saying of like, if there's an EMP and you lose all your technology, then you'll figure out that you can't eat money or something like that.
Well, there's some misnomers about EMP in general. Now, depending, like we had in the 1880s, there was a massive solar flare that turned all the telegraph lines into these lightning spark generators that killed like 3,000 people overnight.
Yeah.
You can actually go and Google this and look it up. There was a massive storm that, before there were telephones, the actual telegraph lines became charged. It's something that's called an earth battery. When you put a pole in the ground and it generates energy in between the thing, it's a natural thing that happens combined with an EMP. Now, we have telephone poles everywhere with wires on them, and that's the thing that they're really worried about, is it'll feed back energy to everyone's houses. Okay? And a lot of houses have ground fault interrupts now, not all of them, but there'll be a major disruption. But majority of the data port systems are protected. They're in deep underground concrete bunkers, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a global experience, not an EMP weapon on one hub.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be man-made because you can't cover the entire planet. But a solar flare or a flash wave or something, even if it's a solar flare, if you're on the dark side of the Earth, hey, that's a good title for an album. It won't affect you that much, I don't think.
Yes, it will. It'll affect the Earth. It all depends if it's a full-on hit on the planet, or the stream of energy just hits the side of the planet. Think of how a baseball bat head hits a baseball. It could hit it right on the edge. It could hit in the center. It could hit it down. And what it'll do is it'll cause a spinning, and that's what their fear is, that it'll cause a pole shift.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Why isn't anybody taking this stuff seriously? The world's lost a whole bunch of strength at its magnetic core, but that's like the least interesting story that's there.
Why is no one taking it serious? That's a good question, David. Maybe because scientists have been neutered with their perspective because of the politics that have been running the world the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. Just like teachers have been marginalized into people that just are there to teach our children, and that's it.
Science. The scientists. It used to be. I remember. Not remember a time, but I see. I'm not that old, but Andrew, when was it that science changed from let's see how nature works, and now it's let's try and control nature? Because I have a white coat, and I think I've got the reason why it's been marginalized as well, because they need funding. I mean, if I want to give cocaine to possums, I could get $8 million.
Gulf War I.
Oh, okay. Gulf War.
That's when it began. Gulf War I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's when all the money, the money that was taken away after the Berlin Wall fell. Tremendous amount of money was taken out of the military-industrial complex, and Gulf War I began in 1991, and 300,000 times the amount of money came back in.
Oh, yeah. A bit of a shift there. Yes.
Just a little bit. And then a mere 10 years later, $2.6 trillion disappeared on 9/10, and on 9/11, it was, we forgot, no one knows where it went.
Oh, yep. I figured that out. The Pentagon has a really big couch. Go ahead, David.
Kind of like the stock market right now is fine, while there are protests all over the U.S. and all over the world.
Right, it went up
pandemic.
It went up 1,000 points.
No sense.
It went up 1,000 points yesterday, David.
Like, you don't have to be a politically inclined to watch the news to see that makes no sense.
Oh well, there's a lot of
it makes a lot of sense if you're ripping off humanity.
Yeah, and also bricks have gone through the roof and windows, and so there's a lot of money in masonry today, and riot gear. So people are making riots. They make money. I don't know for who, but yeah,
the construction companies.
Yeah.
The masons.
So can I ask you a question? Is it that people are so numb or blind, or they just don't know what's going on, or they don't read the news, that they don't see the major problem here?
No, that's the narrative where, I don't think many people have seen George Floyd getting actually arrested and dying, and you can pick holes all the way through the video. Like the EMTs don't even check for a pulse; they just lump him onto a stretcher and then drive off. But then they've seen a photo of him with a knee to the neck, and they're told that he died, and that's enough, and that pushed that in a way that's sort of magic, and so that's enough. And so most people are trying to stay alive and earn enough money and get food, and this is kind of the way they manipulate the narrative. It's like, oh, this happened, and you can just see how everyone's reacted. It's like, racism's bad, black people should be treated better, and most people are like, well, duh. But now everyone, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. On Tuesday, on Instagram, they got everybody to put up a black square because it was Blackout Tuesday. And it was kind of good because all these celebrities didn't put out shit, so it was great.
Hey, you guys saw that article of this guy who attacked a crowd with a bow and arrow? Come on, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see the guy that tried to attack the crowd with a bow and arrow. No, I didn't.
So some white guy in the U.S., Republican, decides that he's going to go help the cops. So he runs up to people and he tells people all lives matter. So people surround him. And then he pulls out a bow and arrow. I kid you not. You could go check this out on Google. And he starts firing arrows at the crowd of people. And guess what happens? The predictable, they beat this man to a pulp. Okay? Yeah. They beat this man to a pulp. And I'm like, you could have just stayed in your bathtub. You could have just been in your bathtub watching, right? Like me, just chilling out, But you had to be out there playing the hero. So they beat this man to the pulp, and he's on the television networks saying, oh, I don't understand. They just beat me up and they're getting away with it. Yeah, they are.
I think he watched a few too many Robin Hood movies, thinking that he would scare people away with a bow and arrow and that they wouldn't chase after him.
Arrow is very popular these days. It's up to season 8. So, just from the chat room, I think PS-A. See the grey alien meme. Yeah, I shared that here. We're up next. Fuck, I'm nervous. Which reminded me, this is a joke from that should have been in last week's, but grey lives matter. There we go.
Arcturian lives matter.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the grey.
Lizard lives don't matter.
Some lizard lives don't matter.
Archon's lives don't matter.
Oh yes, yeah. God, yeah. It's phonetically icon.
What would a draconian say?
Yeah.
What would a draconian do? Feed.
Yeah. You're all fucked. Go ahead. Ooh, loosh.
Exactly. Loosh. More. Here's a brick. Here's a pound of bricks. Come join my secret society.
That's it. I'm buying a quarry and opening up a brick factory and call it Loosh Bricks. It feeds on your energy.
Help build the Dark Empire. Say that again, David.
What is tear gas to a draconian?
Perfume.
Aphrodisiac?
Nope. Seasoning.
Seasoning.
Oh, this luge is wonderful. Is that tear gas? Oh, I love a bit of tear gas. Oh,
it's spicy pepper spray.
Oh. I love that southern luge. It's got such a kick.
I love it when they throw Molotov cocktails and char them a little bit.
Well, a guy.
So did you see?
There was a guy that was set on fire in Mexico. I think.
What?
Yeah, a policeman was set on fire. Rioters are slightly upset, David. And also, for those playing at home,
it's Mexico.
Yeah, I think it was Mexico, or I can't remember, but I only saw it today. A guy was on a bike, and someone put lighter fuel on his back and lit him on fire. And instantly, about 5 or 6 people came in to try and put him out because they knew that that's crossing. They don't realize it's like we're rioting against authoritarian totalitarianism, and we're making it worse, so they clamp down harder. Like, you're not thinking this through.
Yeah, and then there were a bunch of rioters who tried to throw Molotov cocktails and caught themselves on fire.
Oh, have you seen the footage where a guy in a car, he lit a firework, placed it outside of his car, and was about to drive off, but a protester came in
and threw it back at his car.
And threw it back at his car and destroyed his car.
Can you imagine? You remember a few years ago, this suicide bomber in Iraq, he decided that he was going to put on this vest full of plastic explosives. He blew himself up, right? Just putting it on. So the guys in the army were laughing their asses off, and everybody was against them. Like, why are you laughing? It's not funny. It's like you don't care about human lives because it's funny. It's funny. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if anyone does want to actually become a suicide bomber, I recommend testing it at home.
Yes. And not to mention, those guys are laughing because they didn't get blown up.
Yeah, strange that.
They're
still alive.
They're still alive. And that has to make YouTube's top 10 fail list.
Well, actually,
this is why I tell you, Andrew, I don't care about the left or the right. So if you're one of those bleeding heart liberals that say, oh, life matters, and you can't see the humor in some suicide bomber putting on a vest, say, I'm going to kill those infidels, and then getting blown up at his home. If you can't see the humor in that, or you can't see that's funny, right? We can't be friends because that's funny.
It's right. God gave us that to laugh at. That's God's creator. That's God's vengeance right there.
Prime Creator
Can
is
you
the best
imagine
comedy writer.
Can you imagine him ending up in the afterlife, waiting for his 72 virgins?
And they're all guys. Yeah.
A bunch of other suicide bombers who blew themselves up.
Well, where's everyone else? Well, there's 72 men in here. I just had a thought as well. If you're aware of the Darwin Awards, this year's going to be contested so much. Wow, it's natural selection. Who said that? Sarah did. Thank you for sharing that. It's natural selection of what is unfolding. And it's going back to the global narrative. They're using human emotion and yes, we should treat everyone equally. But then they've twisted it. It's like that 80%, 90% lie, truth in a lie, where the black man has been treated like crap for years. It's but from the establishment, not everyone else. Red lives matter. There you go.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine if all the Aboriginals decided that they're rising up in Australia? Can you imagine that? Monty, you guys would be in serious problems, huh?
Yeah, I think they're 2 or 3% of the population, but they can live here without destroying everything. They're caretakers. It's so weird where Captain Cook discovered Australia. Yeah, but there were people living here for another 80,000 years beforehand. So how can he discover Australia?
Well, that's that whole British arrogance.
Yes, we found this. Yeah, but we're here. What are you talking about?
You don't count. You're savage.
Yes, they did the same thing for Wales and Scotland. We've discovered Scotland. I don't think so, pal. Get out.
Exactly. No flag, no country.
Yeah. And when Cook landed in Cooktown, what were the odds? He planted the flag and he claimed Australia for King George III. Not for the British Empire, but just for that, the German guy that was in charge at the time. There's a movie called The Madness of King George III. They only called it, they dropped the third in America because some people believe that people in America wouldn't go see it because they didn't see the first two films.
Well, there are people in every...
I'm getting out of the bathtub now. I'm getting out of the bathtub. Oh.
Okay, we don't want you to turn into a prune, David.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to see you guys in about 10 minutes. Coming to you.
Okay, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Cool.
And there you go, everyone. David in the bathtub. Round of applause for David.
It took a month, but we got there.
Yes. Now, for anyone that is in the chat room, that is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, or any other position that are watching the show and want to come and be a part of the chat room here, you must join zoom.us. All the information is on the screen for you. The only callers we are taking today are callers calling from the bathtub. So right now, anybody in the chat room, has anyone started a bath or gotten into the bathtub yet?
Now, does there have to be water, or could they just stand in their bath?
No, there has to be water.
All right. Okay. So actually, yeah.
So 2 nopes. Hot jacuzzis count. Yes, you can be in a jacuzzi. No, you don't have to be naked. You don't have a bathtub, then you're shit out of luck.
A shower doesn't work.
Shower just doesn't work.
Well, you wouldn't want to have a shower with a phone in there, no.
And no, you must be in the bathtub. So if you want to be able to raise your hand and be a caller, you must be in the bathroom, and we must hear you splishy splash. A barrel outside. I don't know. It better be a big barrel. If we can hear you splishy splash, then we might accept it. And yes, crystals are welcome in the tub. So, Monty, we've insulted, we've done all sorts of things. And before the show, we were talking about the Barry and Gary skit, and that we should turn that into an actual something.
Yes.
So I went back and I listened to that again, and there were so many great one-liners we did, but we just didn't, because we were laughing so hard. That was the show. My jaw hurt for 2 days afterwards.
my plan worked perfectly.
Yes, it did. So we're going to be asking the audience for Barry and Gary quotes. Okay, Gary's the gray, and Barry was the Pleiadian, the Draconian, exactly.
Yeah. And is Hans the Fourth Reich Nazi from the South Pole?
Who is the office manager, and they work in an Indian call center. So, what are some great Barry and Gary lines? So, reach into your comical lives, go on down to that little chat room over there, and channel your inner Barry and Gary.
It's the B&G show.
The B&G show.
Oh, the Bee Gees, yeah. Well, we could do parodies of their songs. But you can tell by the way I walk, I'm an intergalactic being. Not catchy, but...
There's marketing to be done there.
have Gary walking down the sidewalk with a big medallion and a tuft of hair.
Exactly. I'll try to look like a predator. Skulls hanging off his side. Oh, you're accessorizing your outfit today.
I got this small child in Cambodia. Yeah.
He was quite cheap.
Brought to you by Loosh.
By the Loosh Brick Company.
This masonry's not free.
That would be such a perfect meme if you could just get it to go viral. Loosh Masonry.
Thank you, Joyce. Hello, this is Barry. Hold for a while. I only have 4 fingers. I'm going to match the keypad.
It's telepathic typing. So for Leah, David was in the bathtub as he had promised a month ago from our other show, that when we had a caller call in from the bathtub, our second caller from the bathtub, not our first, our second. Okay. And that is why David was in the bathtub. He promised he would come onto our next comedy show and be in the bathtub, and he followed through with his promise. And this is why we're telling everyone now, if you want to be a caller in today's comedy show, you must be in your bathtub.
I like the idea of Gary being a probe doctor. It's like, I've got a sore throat. Okay, pull down your pants and bend over and think of England while I put this probe. Like, everything's a probing.
He's got a triple PhD in proctology.
Yeah.
He's a multi-dimensional proctologist.
Yeah, and did you know Gary's very anal?
Yes, very, very, very. He's got a fixation with that orifice.
It's the gateway to everything.
It's the lower third eye.
I have a splinter in my finger. Pull down your pants, hold your ankles, think of England. Hey. I did like that concept. I remember having a chat with you where the third eye is connected to Uranus, and so it's a massive shoot.
Yes. That's why I'm saying it's the lower third eye. Let me stick my finger in it.
What are you kids doing out this time of night? We're going probing. Ooh.
Oh yeah, we're going probing.
Well, you kids be back by 9 and leave the cows alone.
Hey, here's one from Gabe. Thank you for calling. Can I interest you in our special limited time offer of indentured servitude with no end for the low price of your soul?
Hello? Selling my butt tonight.
Sealing. He's gonna put a iron cork there.
Now, what type of crystal should we place there? So, there's a marketing opportunity: a crystal butt plug to keep the greys out.
I'm sure it's been created already.
Yes,
I'm sure somebody's already created that.
Oh, this is amethyst. Oh, that's nice. I've actually seen, I don't know why, it just popped up on my feed, and I'm sharing a bit here, but someone's actually got, like, you know how cars have those UV lights on the trim and they show up the road? Someone's put that one into a butt plug, so if they're wearing a very short skirt, it glows from there.
There you go. So how do Grays trick up their spaceships?
Ooh.
I always had this thing that there's a bunch of trucker aliens out there with ships up on blocks, tires missing, Bondo everywhere.
How do you how do you lower a spaceship?
Dimensionally, you dimensionally lower it.
Oh yeah, like this spaceship is lowered, but it's 15 feet in the air. Oh, but we're talking density.
Yes. Yes, a high bobblehead in there and a dingle balls in the back, truck nuts behind the spaceship.
Oh, is there a gray bobblehead? That would be interesting.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a gray bobblehead somewhere.
Act now and get a bonus offer of anal probes of the month. Automatically receive an anal probe every month with no action needed on your behalf. We've got your back, your lower back.
Should be a cow bobblehead. Yep.
And if you pay $20 extra, if you pay ancestral lineage, we'll mutilate your cow as well.
We'll throw in a cow mutilation for free.
Don't have a cow? We'll send one.
We'll send one. Oh, all the spiritual people tuning into the show. What the fuck are they doing? Why aren't they reading anyone? Where's the spiritual stuff?
I think it was last show. It's like, yeah, I'll do the readings, and yeah, I realized everyone's from Scotland. Like, what? So what's my ancestry? Oh, you're also from Scotland. I could be completely wrong. But...
Robert just privately messaged me. Quite an assortment of crystal butt plugs. You don't have to put them on, Robert.
Someone's been searching.
Just hope your wife doesn't go, what the fuck is this in your search history?
Don't look at my internet history. Don't look at my internet history.
Exactly.
Robert, I was just wondering why you keep checking for butt plugs.
Your internet's starting to screw up, Robert.
As well as playing video games at the same time. Yeah. Seat covers.
Exactly. Human skin seat covers for the draconian ships.
Made out of human skin.
The long pig. Wow, Robert. Oh my God, butt plugs. Robert's being exposed to the world of butt plugs.
So how was the show today? I saw a lot of butt plugs. Waiting for Gary to call in asking Andrew, what's my purpose, dude?
Your purpose is to be a fictional comedy thing that we're going to make a fortune off of. Now get to work, bitch.
So, Andrew, I'm just wondering if you can tap into the Grey Collective. Is there one of you going, that's really funny? I'm ecstatic. I may produce a tear from laugh.
Believe it or not, there are Grey comedians. Just they laugh very different than us. Like right now, they're all talking about large algorithms and laughing at how dumb we are. Okay? So off in the corner, there's several Grey comedians trying to project their comedy here, going, we do have a sense of humor. And I'm like, well, you sort of have a sense of humor.
So
sense.
Yeah. So like their god is Stephen Wright. Whether it's all just deadpan one-liners, but they suck at it. Stephen Wright's glorious, by the way.
Oh, these are more like, you don't understand infinity.
I like the idea that I think it was a couple of shows ago you pointed out that some aliens are they find it funny that we have shoes.
Yes. Why the fuck do you put those things over your feet?
Well, if you're walking in snow, like you want something on your toes. Have you heard of frostbite?
They're like, you don't control your body? What the fuck is wrong? Aren't you evolved?
No. Have you seen
it?
Our
That's
history?
their comedy. Aren't you evolved? No. Joke's on you.
Yeah.
We'll sell you an evolution.
Yeah, don't worry about the DNA markers that keep your body to 120 year life cycle. That's fine. That's just part of the package. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be all right. And they outsource their products from China.
I did like that meme. Don't worry, the pandemic the virus won't last long. It's made in China, so yeah.
And it's kind of proving to happen right now as they're trying to push it out of the news cycle.
That's one, like the hypocrisy of like everyone needs to social distance. You have to think you may kill grandma and racism. All right, everyone get together. What's the bet in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks, there's going to be a mass rise in COVID reports because hundreds of thousands of people got in the same area and just let the virus. Is that the second wave?
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, all the nurses and doctors were screaming at us, "You're killing grandma, stay home." And 2 days ago, they're out there in their PPE masks clapping at all the protesters.
Yeah, but okay, let's look at the positive side. They're not making TikTok videos.
There'd be more actual change if the TikTok videos were political.
This is true. David, you're still unmuted.
He's still muted. Not unmuted. He's muted.
Yeah. There we go.
You feeling better?
Much. So how you guys are talking about the people with the masks on? Did you see these politicians with the black masks? What's with the black masks? Do they realize they all look like Bane? They all look like Bane.
I don't want you to die. I want you to riot. I should watch that film again and get more lines.
I think he has to be one of my favorite villains of all time.
Well, my friend Steve from Revolution Radio, he actually pointed out, apparently we're living Batman Rises now. And we're just waiting for Bane to turn up. That's what it looks like with everything. Right? They have taken your money, so you should take it back.
Yep. A real Bane personality. It's hilarious, actually.
So, David, if you were Bane, what would you say to the rioters out there now? Not just the rioters, but anybody right now. Channel your inner Bane, David.
Don't just build the wall, throw the bricks. Throw them.
Oh, see, oh, wait, like, we can't see, we're not building the wall. We're throwing the bricks at everybody.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? I would hate to be a policeman right now. Okay? Because your life isn't worth anything.
Well, there's video of a special operations group or someone, high tactical, whatever they are, and there's footage of them pushing over a 75-year-old protester. The cop who pushed him gets suspended, and so the rest of the unit has resigned.
What?
So,
What?
it was on a it was on an RT. The rest of the unit have resigned in solidarity for the guy that got suspended. Apparently,
He pushed a 75-year-old man over.
yep.
What the hell is wrong with them?
Yeah, it's kind of graphic.
Remember, they have the blue shield there, where brothers defend the brothers. So it's like a gang inside the cops. And ultimately,
well-funded.
It's the gang protecting the gangs, which is worse than the racism at times inside those brotherhood unions.
Yeah, that's one of the major problems. It's not actually it's not the system. It's the unions that control it, which I think are connected to the Democratic Party or something like that.
Well, no, the cops, they try their best, but there are a lot of people who should just not ever be cops. Period.
Yeah. Well, when they lowered the IQ standard of joining the police, they don't want smart people being a policeman. I'm sorry, what?
Well, that's a lot of truth to it because they could pay them less.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the number of cops is growing.
We're losing you, David.
Well, someone doesn't like the comedy. They're interfering with the connection.
David's inner Bane wants to be heard. None of this intelligent stuff.
I do think that what is happening with regard to these guys is that they are developing an us versus them, and they're not bright enough to know the difference. Because a lot of people think that cops are intelligent people. That's not true. They're not.
Not anymore, no, because they've lowered the IQ and like the bad apples from the military. They get out from Iraq and then they go into the police force and they still think they're at war.
That should never happen. Bringing in officers from the military. You can't train the military out of somebody. You just can't. That's a joke. That's a joke that ends badly.
Yeah, that's why they're afraid of veterans, because they've got all this knowledge and they could fight back. And this stuff has been going on for 2,000 years. Back in Roman days, as Julius Caesar, it's like we have to treat the veterans of the military better. And it's like still the homelessness and the suicide rate and everything else like that. It is very disgusting.
Monty, let me give you a real life example. Now, I went to a training for hyperbaric oxygen therapy technicians. Okay, I went to a training. There was a guy there who's suing the American government. He was in the Middle East. He got blown up 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I need you to understand that. Like, we had this kind of discussion. I sat down with him and he's like, the first time he got blown up, somebody put an IED and they were driving and he went over an IED and the truck went up into the air and broke an arm. Okay? But it exploded under him, kind of jarring.
Yeah. Yes.
The second time he got blown up, he was standing behind a wall in a market. Okay? And some idiot blew up, set off a bomb, and the pieces of the wall took him out, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he got scraped up, but he got concussion. He got a hearing disorder. And then he was taking out ordnance, meaning that he was part of a bomb disposal unit. And it blew up right in front of him. Ooh. So he woke up and had to learn to walk and talk again. So I'm having this kind of discussion with this man, and I'm like, they told him, you've had enough, go home and be with your family. and he's suing them because he wants to go back to the Middle East. So I'm looking at this man. Like, what do you mean you want to go back? He says all his friends are there, so he wants to go back. And I'm like, what meant? Look, Monty, this man was 24 years old. Yeah. He's 24 years old, and your mind in that condition. You got blown up 3 times. You want to go back? What is wrong with you?
It's the only thing they know, because they can't see any other way out, and they miss their friends in the camaraderie. And I'm not defending it, but I can see if that's the only thing they know. That's why certain people have multiple tours, because they get used to a certain scenario, then go back to public civilian life, and
you
something's
can't
missing.
Integrate these guys. Here's the funny thing. This man has a fiance and a baby. He wants to go back. I'm like, so I sat down and I had this discussion with him. And he says that it's not fair that they're keeping him stateside. And I'm like, you're here with me at a restaurant on a break from a training that pretty much the government is paying for you. And you're dreaming about going back to a place where you got blown up 3 times. So I'm like, something is very, very the matter, right? But what happened was that the police tried to recruit him. Like, no.
Well, if I was in his position and like I basically survived 3 bomb blasts, I would start thinking, is it me? Is my higher self trying to tell me something? What's the life lesson I'm missing here? Because you've survived 3 bomb blasts. It's like, oh, I could probably go for another 7. Okay, the group of angels, the higher selves are around. Like, okay, I don't know how we can get through to him. We've showed him 3 times.
Honestly, my heart went out to his fiance and his kid. Because you really want that. You really want that death, don't you? All right. But there are a whole bunch of people like that who are cops.
Yeah. Who should never, ever, ever be cops. Now, I do a lot of private sessions, and I've had a lot of police officers who've had unique paranormal experiences that when they go to tell people in their thing, they get demeaned, demoted, things happen. So in the years of doing this, I've also met a number of police officers who I've had to say, you can't do this job. You're on the edge. You're living so on the edge. You're going to snap and hurt yourself or someone else. Okay, they also don't get the right support.
No.
The nature of the job has to completely change. So I have a lot of empathy for people that situation. But, when you look at the nature of jobs, in my view, the worst psychic dirty job in the world is a person that runs a server factory for Pornhub. Okay? That's where all the ghosts and demons are. The second is a freaking cop. Okay? Okay?
That's a lot of loosh.
That's a lot of loosh. Okay? Those guys need to be given more advanced esoteric training too, because they could easily take scenarios down a notch or 2 just by kicking out the energies. And it's not like they got to come in there and start fucking saging everyone.
Can you imagine?
They'll kind of create a sage taser.
Oh, instead of tear gas, sage smoke.
Sage smoke, exactly.
That'll break up that riot. That'll calm these protesters down one time.
Oh, see, cannabis smoke. They need cannabis.
Exactly.
Now that is a good idea.
Yes.
That is a good idea. I actually always said, like, if I had to find a cure for the Middle East and all the stuff that was going on there during the Arab Spring, I would get a C-130 aircraft and drop weed all over the Middle East.
Yes.
Right.
We will destroy the Imperial Americans. And who wants a falafel? Yeah, falafel.
Who's
You
got
want a
the
falafel?
munch?
I want
Exactly.
I want a falafel now.
Who's got the munchies?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine Muhammad sitting down with his spliff in his hand? I feel like blowing up somebody, but
Nah.
I'll do it tomorrow. Or the next day.
Who's got the hummus? You got the hummus. Oh.
I have the munchies. A terrorist with the munchies.
And he actually blows up a McDonald's.
Ahmed, where were you? You were supposed to blow up this embassy. I had a couple of spliffs and I got hungry. I'm sorry. I contemplated.
Now our political movement is we're going after GMO food.
We're all listening to Bob Marley now.
Exactly.
No Habib, no cry.
Exactly. The shaman police force.
Yeah, I like that one.
Stage taser. Psh.
Freeze and contemplate your interconnectivity of the galactic plane.
It would be like a mix of John Constantine and Doctor Strange with a cops episode.
See, well, that's another sketch. You have Barry and Gary, and they meet the shaman police.
That's another sketch we have to make our millions on.
Pull over if you feel it's right for you. Please desist, or unless you want to continue your entanglement.
No, cease and desist your possession of that human.
Go ahead, Dave.
Stop in the name of the universal law.
Yeah, like Judge Dredd, I am the law. I am the law of one.
You shall only be judged by God, except for today. God's on holiday. We're judging now.
So,
can you imagine? All right, I got to take another swipe at these guys. White lighter police. What would that look like?
Oh, we got a lot of them already. They're the hardcore Christian ones.
I just imagine myself and Andrew doing, good shaman, bad shaman.
Yeah, interrogating a possessed person with a good shaman and a bad shaman, trying to get the demon to come out.
So you have to let go of the human. Nah, play for a bit. Here, you want some loosh?
The demon gets all confused and it's like, okay, I've had enough of this shit.
Exactly.
I've had enough of this shit. This is gonna get away. This is gonna go away.
You're not going anywhere, Mr. Demon. We've got a homeless crack addict for you to go into. Oh no! Then spill the beans.
All right. I met this guy called Gary, right?
Can you imagine taking somebody down from a demonic possession with weed? Like the girl, like the girl in The Exorcist, her head is turning around backward, and then you just take the weed and you put it in the mouth, like, just chill out.
Just chill out. Exactly.
Everything will be okay, man.
It's been blessed by it's been blessed by the Pope.
I've got this perp. He's been charged with possession. Demon or cannabis?
Right. Can you imagine a high demon? Like, yeah. You freaking Christians. Y'all are. She's mine. I tell you, she's mine.
Sure, she is. Yeah.
Hilarious. Sure, she is.
And of course, we have to have that funky 70s type of theme song.
Yeah, Mike Oldfield.
Yes. And you get the demon high enough. You get the demon high enough. He starts telling stories.
Have you guys ever seen Mars Attacks?
Yes, I loved that movie.
With the country and western, that's the way to flush demons out.
Yes,
lock him in a room and play country and western movies.
Right when they stuck their heads on the dogs.
I like the idea.
I love it. We come in peace. 3 times down the line. And that's exactly what would happen too.
I like the idea of a demon telling stories to the shaman police. Oh yeah, I remember one time. Do you remember Sodom and or Gomorrah? Like, had a ball back then. Oh, that was good times. Have you heard of Samaria?
It'd be like a confession.
Reminiscing.
It's a serial killer's confession scene.
Yeah. It all started when I was hanging out with Enki and I got kicked out of heaven, and Satan's a jerk. It's been a terrible path all the way through.
Do you think I can plead innocence or self-defense?
Well, that's up to the Galactic Sun now, isn't it? Oh,
he's not gonna like me. Oh, what I did to the Galactic Sun. Oh.
Meanwhile, on Pluto, this is not funny.
Imagine a demon on LSD.
Well, I think Ellis, of course, LSD is great for a diet because you cannot get past the dragon to get to the fridge.
Well, no, he put it in a demon ayahuasca, and he gets shown the Earth Mother. Uh-oh.
Like, oh shit!
I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry.
Bad trip, exactly.
Everything's so green.
It will be a bad trip for the host if you're inside of you decides to go on LSD.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the demon is like, I just want to touch my face. I just want to touch my face. I can't touch my face. Honestly, I have seen people tripping out on stuff that was not good stuff. Having a bad trip is not a pleasant thing, is it? Can you imagine seeing dragons, right? But for what about those meditators? I know a lot of meditators, and I've had bad meditation experiences, like anyone else, because I couldn't help by poking around in my mind, right? So I assume that a bad drug trip would be pretty much the same thing. Meaning like you meditating and you get up and you're still sitting in the chair and that kind of stuff, right? Can you imagine having that regularly happen to you, right? It's tripped out when it happens once, but if it happens more than once, I'm like, wow, you got to stop the drugs. You got to stop the drugs.
Massive flashbacks. Oh, I'm still at home. I just got to work.
Then the human possesses the demon on the drugs.
Oh yes, that's funny. Now it's my turn to really frig you up.
Exactly.
It's my turn to really frig you up. All right. And the human takes the demon into church, right? And drinks a whole bunch of holy water.
What is happening? Haha, it's a doorway, bitch. It can go two ways.
And then the human's like,
goes for Reiki. That's funny.
Exactly. Yo, you're tripping now. I want you to introduce you to a really naughty unicorn called Brownhorn.
No.
He wants you to play leapfrog with him.
He goes first.
Brownhorn is a legendary unicorn.
Angry young unicorn.
Exactly. He's got a thing for demons.
He's got a thing for demons. Don't let him
you loose right here.
He barbecues demon arms on his horn.
The devil is a churchgoer.
Oh crap! That's funny, Robert.
With a don't speak T-shirt.
What is with these people that lose their shit? These fanatical people over everything. You remember that some time ago? What was it? There was a left-wing girl, fat girl, who lost her mind on social media and became like a viral sensation. because they brought somebody to talk to a school. I can't remember what her name was. Some Twiddly Puff or something like that. I can't remember. Right? They made a meme out of her. Right? So if you really are that kind of person, you feel so strongly. Why do they have to have Twiddly Puff? Yes, yes. I gotta find this. I gotta find this woman's name. You guys gotta go check it out. What's the other issue is the celebrities that are coming out and saying stuff. It's easy to say stuff about the death or injustice about somebody behind your walls and your mansions. It really is.
Oh, remember when Alan said, like, it's just like being in jail. Yeah, my jail isn't an 18-bedroom mansion with servants, and I'm not married to Portia de Rossi. How is that jail? Like,
well, it just shows how out of touch they really are.
mm-hmm.
But that's the gift of COVID. It keeps on giving so many different ways.
Yeah,
It
people
does.
say they're not getting adrenochrome. I think it's it's not really they're not getting that, but they're not getting attention, and they're like crack addicts. It's like, please look at me. I need the energy. Please look at me, and they're not doing well.
No, they're not. No, they are not. And they jump on everything. Here's the funny thing. The US is a really interesting place. Now you have people that literally are reality show people ending up as presidents and leaders of your country. Okay? I really want to understand this stuff. Okay? You have people who are like celebrities. I think that there's a unique disqualifier. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger is a political figure. Jesse Ventura. You remember Jesse Ventura?
Yeah,
Back in the
he
day.
lives
yeah.
in Mexico.
Oh yeah, he might actually try to run against Trump.
Right.
That's the new
Jesse
rumor going around.
Ventura. Ronald Reagan was an actor as well. A lot of people don't know that. So what is going on there? Do you guys they say, well, I know him, so I'll vote for him, and then that's how it ends up.
Yeah, can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura at a debate? It would just turn into a wrestling match. It's a clothesline, and then
It would.
Mind you, I think if Biden gets through to the debates, Trump's going to have a field day because Biden's not all there.
Yes.
No, I think you'll see
Yes.
Biden's dark side come out.
Well, that's going to end well.
A lot of licking and sniffing.
Yeah.
He comes up like when Trump did that to Hillary. He came up
just had a
behind her,
funny
was
thought.
stalking around her. Biden comes up to him and starts sniffing and licking him.
Nicole Albert, I think her last name is, the stand-up comic from Canada. She actually has a Creepy Joe filter where if you're in the right position, he appears on your shoulder. It looks hilarious.
My God.
We might not even have debates.
How bad has it gotten when your choices are a complete and utter narcissist versus someone who can't remember what the word narcissist means? You can't, like, there are no choices. Everything has become like some comedy show, doesn't it?
That's why when I came out in 2012 and people were asking me what the future was going to be like, I just called it a giant Three Stooges show.
Yeah, and I've added to that because of like the last 6 to 12 months, it's like a Three Stooges comedy sketch that mated with a Monty Python sketch.
Yep. And so this guy cleared a whole bunch of protesters to go take a picture with a Bible in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious.
And then when they asked him if it was his Bible, he said, no, it's a Bible.
How are we sure that it was a Bible?
Yes, it said Bible on it.
It's pronounced Bibly. Andrew, read Scott's comment. That's good.
Hold on. That's going by really fast. Hi, this is Gary with Cognitive Dissonance Inc. Can I interest you in a Hegelian dialect? We provide problems and solutions. You simply provide the reaction. That's good. Now we're engaging. Now we're engaging our audience comedy side. So, David, let's and Ronnie, let's delve into how much more stupid and ridiculous this can get, because it could be its own prophetic process. So let's think. Will there be a debate between Biden and Trump? Let's start there.
Yes, most likely it would be over through Zoom. Just showing how prophetic the Brady Bunch were, because that was the first Zoom call at the start.
Well, right now, Trump is trying to actually move the Republican convention because the senator from that state wants them to use social distancing and not have everybody there. Okay, so there might not even be a convention. Okay?
Just everyone's 6 feet apart. Well, is anyone running against Trump? So it's kind of a done thing, isn't it?
Well, it all depends on who Biden picks as his VP.
Yeah. Correct. Very important.
Very important. You know, he could pick somebody like Al Sharpton.
Well, that will go well.
Yeah, it would, because he has the religious side on him. Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting. He needs to pick somebody who could appeal to evangelicals, which is the only reason why Trump is inside there.
That's right.
And you wonder why it is that I take strips off of Christianity? Come on. Like, seriously? Some of these people are really, 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 really dumb.
Yeah, well, like mentioning Obama in the chat room, he came out and said, like, these protesters could change America. You're in charge for 8 friggin' years and nothing happened. Mainly, I keep forgetting that he's half white. So like, he's the first black president. He has a white mother. How can he's half black? What's going on?
So on the level of stupidity that can come, so let's say there is no convention and no debate. Technically, by law, there is no president to be elected, because it's by law that it has to go to the debate. They have to go to the people electing them while they're physically in presence. Now the laws actually say that for the person to be made the nominee, everyone has to be in the same place and vote publicly. No private votings and no phone votings. So they will actually have to change the laws, or they're going to set up for a massive court battle here. There's a lot of things that people don't realize honestly, what's in the laws. Yeah.
Yes, that is actually quite true. But this is what Trump is debating with regard to the mail-in voting. Okay, the laws were there for a reason. Now, the problem that they're having is that there's a reasonable excuse as to why the in-person voting is not happening. Now, here's my issue. If you make that exception, you do realize this will be the first time in history that a virus determined who won the election, right?
That's right. Which then affects the rest of the world.
Yeah, because both sides of that are bad. Like before, I don't know what's going on in the US. For the last few years, it's been, we have no choices. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because
false choice.
Like back in 2016, it was a choice between Hillary Clinton and Obama for the Democratic nominee. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So everybody chose Obama. That's how a half-black president became the president, because everybody thought Hillary, and it's like, no. Which is, and Hillary is probably sitting there thinking, I wonder how this is going to play out. All right.
Yeah. they went to the Bilderbergers, which was being held in Washington or near Washington, and they both turned up at the same time. And the Bilderbergers said, "We're going. Sorry, Hillary, we're going with Obama because no one likes you." And,
No one likes you, correct?
Mm.
And honestly, I do believe it's about time y'all had a woman president. I really do.
yeah, but someone who can do the job. That's the thing as well. We have to vote Hillary. Why? Because she's a woman. And like there are. I mean, what's her name? Not Tulsi Gabbard, I think her name was. Like, I don't know if she would be good at it, but she was better than most things. But she was pushed out of the Democrats because she wasn't controllable by the establishment.
Yeah, and she was she was saying 911. There's more truth than being told.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a number of other things that were taboo that she wasn't supposed to talk about. A bunch of other things.
Yeah. And I mean, Bernie did the same thing that he did last time. He when he pulled out, like, I'm pulling out of the presidential race. I'm going to go back to my many houses. Sorry, no refunds. It's like he did the same thing. I mean, I would be Marianne Williamson. I don't know if she would have got to it, but she was also ostracized as well because, she's not falling into line lockstep where it's that left-right paradigm, blue-red. Even like in the debates, it's only just those two. When there's 15 people running for president, it's controlled in that aspect. And it's just like you vote in A sucks, so you vote in B sucks. You can only vote back in A again, and you get stuck in that loop. Or yeah, Barry and Gary. That's the people I would actually vote for.
When are we gonna get a good choice in terms of president material? Because really and truly, there's a scarcity, you know. There really is. I saw protesters say that we're going to vote Trump in 2020, and in 2024 we're going to vote what's Trump's son's name, and then in 2028 we're going to vote Barron Trump.
Yeah, well, no, Ivanka is the second one.
I'm like looking at this. I'm looking at this redneck person, and I'm like, ooh, something is definitely wrong with you.
Who said Danny Barry for Overlord? Yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah, and not Obama, our Barry from Draconia. And that's the other problem. Well, the whole system's corrupt. That's the problem. Where, as Andrew's pointed out a lot, unless a politician actually starts, what's the campaigning on getting rid of corruption, it's going to continue to be the same over and over and over again.
And then actually do something about corruption.
Yes, because 2/3
Medicare can be fixed in one signing of the pen, making felonies these white collar crimes that are being done. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with taxes, felonies to the corporations. Put people in jail.
Yeah. Well, don't the pharmaceutical companies say if they've got a free reign with vaccines, and if something goes wrong, oops, not us. Like there's no culpability, basically.
Poor Bill Gates, he's feeling the heat, from every corner.
Oh yeah. Every time he puts something out, or whoever does it on his Instagram, there are thousands of comments just telling him to get fucked. Like,
and then his like to dislike ratio is ridiculous. It's like 2,000 likes and 75,000 dislikes.
Why? Look, and you got people in the Italian parliament calling for his arrest. Wow, this guy's getting some serious hate, and then they're all calling for his arrest on a Windows laptop, which is really, really, really funny. Let's down with Bill Gates. You know, I'm like. You're typing on his computers, you know. Like
that would be funny if Bill Gates gets arrested for Windows 7.
Not anything else. He should get arrested for Millennium. Okay, that's what he should get arrested for.
Yeah. Not all that criminal stuff that he did with the vaccines in Africa. It's like, no, you release this dude. We've had enough.
Alrighty, so I'm going to ask the audience, who is in their bathtub? Is anyone in their bathtub?
We got any bathers?
Any bathers, exactly. Because when we go to take calls, the only people we will take calls from are those that are in their bathtub. Oh, we got a big chicken shit audience today.
My hoo-ha is
Come
all
on,
wrinkled.
come on.
But
guys.
are you in a
I got into
bathtub?
my bathtub. I got in my bathtub. I could actually go back.
We have
if you
already
want.
had 2 callers in the past month and a half, separate of David, who have called in from their bathtub.
It's a dry audience.
Wah, wah, wah.
This may sound a bit controversial, but we want you wet. Anyway.
All you water savers, bullshit. It's Friday night. Have a drink and get in the bathtub. Danny, buck. Yes, exactly. There you go. Those army guys. You would think he'd have a solid gold bathtub though, and solid gold army guys.
Yeah, that's how we'll save the U.S. military. Instead of bloodthirsty psychopaths, we get dancers. Everyone do our routine.
with the billy clubs and stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
You'll see the riots. Yeah, the riots would be better if it was actually a break dancing competition.
Billy Club Boogaloo.
Well, have you heard that internet slang? The term for the next civil war is actually a boogaloo.
Yes, because there's a group called the Boogaloos who
Yep.
wear Hawaiian shirts and are decentralized. And it's a bunch of boomers with guns and a bunch of millennials with guns, each with different views, who show up to the riots with their guns and try to defend the Black Lives Matter people and shoot the fake protesters.
And the reason is because it's a joke. Because like here in Australia, the movie was called Breakdancing and Breakdancing 2,
Right.
Electric Boogaloo. I think it was just called Breakin' in the States. And people just they just took Electric Boogaloo and added it to everything else, just as a rhyming gag. Where like Gremlins 2, Electric Boogaloo. And somehow it's flipped into Civil War 2, Electric Boogaloo, and that's where that comes from. It's just a crappy joke that was on the internet, and now you read headlines of like that people, the alt-right are using Boogaloo. They're all Boogaloo heads and everything else like that. I'm like,
Oh my God, do you guys know what boogaloos are where I come from?
What?
oh, I don't know, but I'm scared.
Yeah, you need to be. Boogaloo is when you take little marble things, you put them under the heads of the foreskin of the head of your penis to warp it. So your penis has like at the end of it, it has like
Bumps.
little undulations in it, bumps in it, which increases the sensation with regard to women, right? When you have sex with women, because the undulations make them. That's what a boogaloo is. That's where that comes from. That's what that means.
So, David, you just said that all these Boogaloo are dicks. Is that what you
That's what boogaloos are. You could go check that out on the net. You put it on the penis is warped. It's like a body modification for sexuality.
Yeah. Well, for the listeners, you thought that crystal butt plugs were bad. No, David pops in with these little crystal balls for the end of your penis. We should open a shop.
Yeah, traffic some body mods, sex body mod. That's what it is, and apparently it works.
Welcome to Holistic Sex Aids. Do you want to get spiritual and kinky?
Sorry, but this is actually that's what boogaloos are. I'm like, so you're talking about boogaloos? I'm like, really? Boogaloos showed up to help the black protesters? I'm like, how did that? I'm like, but
Well, David, the question is, what is an electric boogaloo?
That's an extreme body modification.
Yeah. Why is there an electrical cord coming from your penis? Oh, baby, you'll find out. Okay, you'll find out really now. All right, just plug it in. Is it DC or AC? 110 volts or 240 volts?
Oh, that's funny. Forget about vibration. I got sparks.
Let's get electric, baby. All right.
I hope you're grounded.
That's very spiritual. Yes, here at Holistic Sex Shop, you have to be grounded.
Holistic healing sex shop.
Yeah. Just fuck those demons away.
Learn how to possess your demon.
We are protected by the shaman police.
Spread those legs and show me your flamethrower. All right, Alan, that's good. Oh boy, we have definitely devolved this show.
Yeah.
Or evolved. It depends. I still think it's funny that the Galactics coming in and going, what are the humans doing today? Oh, Jesus.
Was that a crystal?
Right.
Was that a crystal butt plug?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
one of those since my kid graduated high school.
And that's right. I think that Galactics use Jesus as a swear word, like we do here on Earth.
So, David, we're going to give you the spot here to look at the Bible and pick a spot where David just lets down and has his inner Bane talk about the Bible.
Okay, so let's start with famous riots in the Bible. Riot number 1, Sodom and Gomorrah. Big riot is going on. Everybody's in their orgy mode. And then God says, you know what? We got to stop this riot. God is the ultimate Trump. It's like, this riot has got to stop. Oh, meteorite. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Done. Riot finished. Right? Riot number 2, the walls of Jericho. Yeah, riot number 2, the walls of Jericho. So there are a bunch of guys living it up in this walled city. And God sends, you know what? We're going to send in the police, the religious police. So they go and surround the city, march around the city until such time as, the whole freaking city comes crumbling down. Right? Number 2. Right? This is what the police should do. Surround them, destroy the city. Right? Number 3, the Tower of Babel. So a whole bunch of people say, we're tired of this God shit. We're going to build a tower and we're going to go up there and speak to him ourselves. We're going to storm that. We're going to storm those heavenly gates. So they all get together and they start building this tower, right? And they're building it, and it's getting higher and it's getting higher. And then all of a sudden, God says, you know what? You think you guys are smart? I'm going to make all of you speak different languages. So everybody's like, what? But every time,
what? Wait.
Riot finished. Right? Famous resistance continued. Nicodemus. So this guy tells Nicodemus, so by the way, did you know that a baby will be born in the city that's going to eventually be your demise? Nicodemus says, oh, well, I didn't know that. Why don't we kill all the babies in the city? Why don't we kill all the babies in the city? And then I don't have that problem anymore. Okay? Hilarious. Yeah. Right. And let's start with the original riot, Cain and Abel. Okay. Cain was not able with Abel. Okay.
Did he use a cane?
Right? Cain and Abel. So, yeah, I don't really like the fact that you have this cool outfit that mommy and daddy made for you, and I don't have one. So
you and your Nike shoes.
Yes, ultimate Nike shoes put down. Yeah, all famous resistances in the Bible. Everybody has something to resist. Well, how about Moses in the Red Sea? Like, That's one way to show resistance. The 12 plagues of Egypt. Now let me see if I get this right. You turn all the water sources into blood. That's not gross enough. No. You're gonna throw locusts at them, which, by the way, is happening right now.
Yeah.
There is nothing grosser than a cricket that's on steroids. And I know there's nothing more uncomfortable. If you've ever seen a locust up front, a lot of people think that they know what locusts look like. What's the big deal? It's an insect, right? No, it's not an insect. It's an insect with muscles. Okay? That's why it's a problem. Because if you look at these things, yes,
he has a lot of mates.
A lot of mates, right? Enough mates to drown out the sky. So just imagine a whole bunch of insects with muscles. So it's not bad enough you turn all the water sources into blood. Then you decided to throw locusts and then you kill every firstborn. Listen, God is a real gangster in the Bible, huh?
Oh, the Old Testament, yes. He was quite.
He's a real gangster. I mean, like, yeah, we killing everything.
Someone actually tallied all the deaths in the Bible. In the Old Testament, I think Satan killed 7 people. God, 2,435,083. Oh, good
Here's
times.
the thing. Here's the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah, because he loves you.
If you're going to promote goodwill among men, you can't have a book that literally every time the devil is in charge, people are living it up, partying, having great sex, and then all of a sudden, these guys come in and say, goodwill towards men, let's kill everybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
it just doesn't work. Like goodwill towards men, like let's kill everybody. Sodom and Gomorrah, the people who were worshiping the golden calf, all of these were people that were just living their lives, chilling out, lighting up like Monty across there, having a good time, and then a bunch of religious nuts come in and says, our God says, well, you can't live. So we're going to have to kill you, your kids, your parents, everybody.
I love you so much. So I'm going to give you the present that keeps on giving: genocide.
More like the president keeps on taking, right? And if it isn't bad enough, you figure that the other famous resistance. Let's talk about Samson. You remember him?
Oh yeah.
The guy with the dreadlocks.
Mm-hmm. And his wife taking his hair.
Yeah. So a bunch of Philistines, and don't even go there, because a woman once called me an uncircumcised Philistine. No, I had nothing to do with the woman. She just was upset at me. And she was Christian.
And David had to ask me, and I'm like, David, she's trying to insult you. And he's like, what?
How is that an insult? Like,
that's how Philistine now is used as a geography term.
A what? Really?
It's a Philistine, the Philippines. Yeah, that Philippines brain fart. Philistine, yeah, exactly. Would be modern day Jordan, Syria.
So she is like, this woman looks at me and says, you uncircumcised Philistine. And I'm like, I don't understand why that would be an insult.
No, you are a savage, uncircumcised Philistine.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. She's a Christian, so the thing I'm thinking is that how does she know I'm uncircumcised? How would she know?
Original sin.
Like, I'm looking at her, and this woman was a Christian, devout Christian, and she was 68 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why would you be interested in the condition of my? Never mind. Let's move on. Right. So this guy with the dreadlocks is really, really strong, and God sends the Philistines are, I guess, uncircumcised dudes, right? And they keep trying to kill this guy, but he's really, really strong, so he kills them all. Of course, his wife wants to stall him out, so she tries to get some advice on how to kill him, but only he has the advice. So he tells her, well, you could cut my hair off and then I won't have any strength. So she cuts his locks off. He doesn't have any strength, and he gets put in chains, and the idiot Philistines don't kill him right away, Andrew. You can't get this comedy anywhere else.
No,
Okay?
they give him hair. They give him hair cream for men.
You can't get this comedy. You can't get this. They don't kill him right away. So they chain him to this tower, which is supported by 2 pillars, and they're having a party. They're having an orgy and everything. And while he is chained to the pillar, his hair grows back. Like, did you not notice that his hair was growing back? The source of his strength is his hair. How are you not watching his hair? I would shave this man morning, noon, and night. Okay? So his hair grows back. So in the middle of all of this, you have this dreadlock guy decided, and he pushes the pillars down and brings the roof down on everybody. Okay? That's putting down a resistance, literally. Right? You have a whole bunch of other instances in the Bible where people have tried to put up resistance and God just wipes everybody out. Right? So God is like the ultimate Trump. You think Trump is taking, well, he is actually, because he walked across the garden. Talk about parting the Red Sea. More like parting the Black Sea. Right? Right?
Parting the sea of protest.
Yeah, but what about Jesus going in with the money changes?
I think Trump is getting his stuff from a lot of stuff in the Bible.
It's a good script. But yeah, and then you had Jesus being angry with the money changers. Like, the one
in the temple. Oh, yes. Yes, that's correct. Right. He got pissed off because people were gambling and stuff and threw all the tables over. Right. So he wasn't always the prophet of peace. Speaking about the prophet of peace, let's not forget the prophet of true peace, Muhammad.
Oh, yeah. He's a loving warlord, isn't he?
That's a guy that you don't want to necessarily protest against.
Yeah,
that's right. He's a different layer of gangster.
Holy Bible, oh my God! Look at this.
Well, what a religion! Join us, or we'll cut your head off. Oh, what are my choices again?
Well, that's not the only religion that said join us or we cut your head off.
I know.
They'll share it. They'll share it. Join us or genocide is kind of common marketing for them.
Once again, genocide. Yeah. Didn't God realize if you killed everybody, they'll end up in heaven? Can you imagine the TSA at the pearly gates? That line would be extremely long.
He just kicks them back out. You're not worthy. Exclusive club.
Go meet my friend Lou. He's in the basement. You'll love him.
This is how brutal the immigration process is for heaven. Now you get up there. During immigration, you fail an immigration check. They just send you back to your country. But no. So you fail immigration in the United States, and they send you to some place like the desert of Sudan. Like what the hell? Just send me back to my country. Send me back to Earth, right? Right? Why are you going to send me somewhere else? And by the way, the whole lake of fire thing, oh my God. Can you imagine?
I like Dave Allen's interpretation of hell. He's a Irish comedian. He's brilliant. If you want, like 70s and 80s, he was absolutely fantastic at telling stories. And his version of hell is it's thick mud and shit up to your chin, and you try and keep your head, and you try and stand on a rock so you can keep your head above the water level. And then on Sundays, Satan goes water skiing. That's better than a lake of fire. It's a lake of shit.
So, David, I want to poke a little thing at the Hindu culture for a minute, because they too have some of their high levels of extremities there and odd happenings that relate to some of the other major religions. So what do you have to say about the Hindus? And for all other people listening in India today, we intend to offend.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. At the very basic, How much weed do you have to smoke to see many, many gods with many, many hands opening themselves up? Okay.
In India, none. It's on every wall.
Right. Yeah, but it had to come from somewhere, right? I think that I honestly think here's the idea. And who comes up with a caste system? Who really comes up with that?
Vegetarians.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? So let's take. I'm gonna go through the religions of India, because it's kind of funny. You see, the gods change depending on what time of history that you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might. It started. You know that India created this new missile called Agni. Agni is a god of fire, right? Goddess of fire, and they name a missile after it, and they're marching it down the street. And this is the most grotesque thing I've ever seen, because a whole bunch of people are praying to God Agni. Oh my God, we finally found, we finally put Agni in a weapon, in a rocket, right? To create liquefy. Well, blow that shit up right there and then. Agni will save you. You know what I mean? That's the first thing that I have a problem with. So the gods change depending on where you are. But if you follow the original text from the Mahabharata to the Gita, because people don't understand, a lot of people don't get that these religious books, you're only reading part 2 or part 3. You're not reading the whole script.
The whole script,
okay?
exactly.
So they're not reading the whole script. So like the Bible has a whole bunch of books left out. You know that there's a book 1 of the Bible. Did you know that? It's not just the Old Testament and New Testament. There was a book before that. Go check it out. And let's not forget.
Oh, I was just going to ask, how does it start? It's like, thank you for buying your spirituality instructions. Please be able to. It's like an IKEA instruction.
Correct. Exactly. You get the final product. You don't get what comes before. It's like watching a movie sequel. Can you imagine if you watched? Give me any popular movie sequel.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. You watched the 3rd part. You haven't watched the first 2 parts. Seriously. What context? So the Bible is not the first book. The Old Testament and the New Testament are not the first book. If you really want to be educated, you read everything. Like the Gita, if you are a follower of Hinduism or whatever else, you need to read what came before. You need to read the books about it. It's like a Muslim reading the Quran and not reading the Hadith. Seriously, guys, is it that you're for those of you who are out there who don't know what I'm talking about, right? But our version is the best. But our version is the best.
Better plot line.
I will give Hinduism some props because you can't convert to Hinduism. It's not like, oh, I convert. You can't. That's why it's not the fastest growing religion, right? But that doesn't stop some yoga Lululemon moms from trying to convert. Oh, I'm a Hindu now. Like, oh my God, like you can't convert to Hinduism.
And the next thing, they're going to make Lululemon pants with an elephant trunk coming out of the crotch.
Ganesha. With a Ganesha trunk.
Exactly.
So you got
Dude, your trunk's very small.
Right. So you got Hindu gods for everything. Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. Shiva is the destroyer, right? Lakshmi and so on. God, they all have different functions. But my point is this. If all you care about is those functions, that tells a lot about your culture, doesn't it? You see where I'm coming from. You could tell a lot about a god, a culture from the god that it comes from. Like, honestly, Old Testament people, you guys are full-on gangsters. You guys are full-on killers and gangsters. Seriously. New Testament people, they became the white lighters. Okay? But if you're in India and so on, and you have gods for everything, and sometimes, honestly speaking, I have to take a little swipe at Hinduism there. Now, your religion started at violence. Okay? Violence against people who could not defend themselves. Okay? You had the Arjun and his gang, and then you had another gang with his cousins, and he's fighting against his cousins, guys. He's fighting against his cousins. So he decides at some point in time in the battle to say, you know what? This is stupid. I'm fighting over land. I can't be killing my family over land. I'm just going to just chill out, you know? I'm going to go home, smoke some weed, and everything will be okay. Would you like to know what happens then? Krishna jumps into his chariot and says, nope. We're going to go across there and we're going to go across there. We're going to kill all these mofos, all of them. Okay?
Well, don't forget,
Right?
don't forget,
We're going to kill all of them.
Don't forget, Krishna said you have to choose. Do you want my army? Do you want me to both sides too? So
Right.
there's Krishna's on one side with it. Yeah.
Here's the advice that Krishna gives him. Exactly. I'm going to paraphrase her. He says, well, you know, I know they're your cousins, but don't worry about that. We're going to kill them. Nobody is killed. You can't really kill anybody, right? you can't just let people disrespect you like this and run up in your land. You have to please take them out, take them out. Look, I'm going to go get my bow. We're going to sit in this chariot. We're going to roll across there. We're going to kill everybody. And we're back home for supper. Krishna actually argues with him to go kill his own family. Come on, guys.
So you're saying that with all these religious texts where they're all gangsters, it's best to listen to hip hop. It's best to listen to hip hop while reading it.
Correct. Exactly. Listen, Ezekiel 9, as I said before, Ezekiel 9 verses 10 to 14. That could be the worst rap song ever, because it's actually that's like go check it out, you guys. That should be the best rap song ever, because it goes something like this. I'm going to put a mark on everybody's house that I actually like, and then I'm going to kill everybody else. I'm going to kill your children. I'm going to kill the children. I'm going to kill the elderly folk. Anybody else that's out there, I'm killing everybody else. Full on gangster business.
Thank you, Jamie. Hindus with attitude.
Hindus with attitude, correct. Correct. It's like it's hilarious. And the books before the Gita, the Mahabharata. Now let's see what is worse than that. You got rape, you got kidnapping, you got freaking exploitation, you got rape. You have people being forced to sleep with ascetics. In case you're wondering what ascetics are like people who don't bathe. They throw off the trappings of society, so they don't bathe. They're really, really dirty. They have clumps of dirt on them. But this woman in there is forced to sleep with an ascetic at the beginning of the Mahabharata. This is the part 1 to the Gita. The Gita is like the book down the line. Okay, but Hindus, and even the Gita full up of gangster shit. Okay. Right, the Mahabharata is like this some twisted stuff, huh? Right, they're in the forest with demons. Andrew, you would love this. They decided they lost the dice game. Well, they didn't lose. They were cheated out of their land in a dice game. So you got gambling in there as well, right? You got gambling. So they lost. This is Arjun and his family, and they're forced to live in a forest where there are demons everywhere. Okay, and they have to deal with the demons and stuff, but it hardens them up, you know. It's kind of like, you know, I will go up into the hills and I will avenge my master. You remember those old
it put the street back in them.
Yeah, it puts the street back in them, and they come back out loaded for bear, right? They make analysis, they make alliances, and they're on that battlefield, and they're gonna run up on these mofos and kill all of y'all.
Instead of Latin kings, it's the Hindu kings.
The Hindu kings, correct. Literally the Hindu kings.
And then spiritual enemy.
And then you got this god gaslighting them like, yo, we're going to kill all your family, all of them. Right there, the battle.
Yeah, downtown LA. Look at that.
About. So you got a whole bunch of people who just...
and it's red. Sorry, David.
Like full-on gangster business.
It is red and blue. It's Bloods versus Cribs.
It's full-on gangster business.
I do like in the Greek.
It is literally.
Well, you know, Zeus
So-
apparently turns into all these animals and sleeps with everyone. I think that's just basically Zeus turns into all these animals and sleeps with everyone. I think that's just basically the ladies didn't want to point out, like, well,
Don't
he's really
even get me
cute.
started on Olympian religion, because guys, Andrew, this is for you, by the way, because that's your genealogy. So I'm gonna out you guys. Oh, Andrew is part Greek, everyone. I'm outing him.
Full Greek. Full Greek.
You're a full Greek.
Full Greek.
What the like? Honestly, Andrew, what went wrong in Greece way back when? It was something.
Blame it on the Romans.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say
want
Roman.
you came first. You guys came first. What? Blame it on the Romans. So you got, let me see, in the Olympian religion, you got people turning into animals. You got like bestiality, incest, rape, and that's like the major theme, huh? That's like the major theme running through there. Everybody raping everybody else.
And
Okay,
democracy.
all right. Everybody raping everybody else. All right, and then you got guys in robes and so on. So the gods are having orgies and everything else, and they're wondering why the humans are misbehaving.
Bad example.
Why?
No
like,
good role models.
Why are you misbehaving? Right, and they're wondering why the humans are misbehaving. You got people raping their sisters and stuff. Like, seriously, what's up with that? But I'm not going to. And for the white people in the audience, don't think that I have left you guys out. Let's talk about the people who come from Slavic origin. We're talking about Denmark. We're talking about Norway. We're talking
the
about
Norse. Yeah.
yeah, the Vikings
Thor.
and so on.
Odin, Thor.
Your gods were all different kind of wrong, huh? Your gods were all different kind of wrong, and I'm like, wow, right? Because you see, their gods are exactly what their culture was, but I will have to give them their props. They emulated exactly what their gods were doing. We're going to go raid this village. Why? We don't know, because that's what we do. We kill people. All right, but why are you doing that? It's not like you need land or gold or anything. No, we're going to do it anyway. But you're not trying to expand your land. They didn't even want the land. We just want to raid, kill people, rape a few foreign bitches and come back home. And I'm like, I'm like, what is up with that? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, who wakes up in the bed and thinks that way?
Yeah, and it's for honor. Old Zeus and Zeus.
And I'm like, Zeus with the thunderbolt in his hand. Hilarious.
And then you got the Chinese gods too. You know, they weren't exactly nice
Oh
either.
my God. No, but Chinese gods, you tell a lot about a people by the culture they come from.
Look at all the fighting over freaking peaches. If you don't know about the mystical peach tree in Chinese history, you'd be surprised what wars were created over these peaches.
The only connection I have to all of that is I watched the TV show Monkey.
Yes.
Who apparently there was a peach grove in heaven and Monkey ate them all, so he became immortal.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ate them all and he became immortal. You're correct. It's along the same story, but I mean, like, you have to be really freaking high to invent those stories, huh? You got to be really freaking high.
Three Taoist Buddhists or whoever they were at the top of a mountain smacked out on opium. Okay, I've got an idea. What if we make peaches the main crux of our story? Oh,
I
like a
peaches.
bit of fruit. Yeah, I like a bit of fruit.
One of those monks was a marketer. All the peasants are going to like it. Make it half about food and the rest about gathering food, and you've sold it.
Yeah, it's a past life of Trump. It's going to be huge. We could sell all these fruits. It grows everywhere. It's going to be great.
There's plenty of stuff to market in the bazaars.
I haven't left out anybody else. Let's go to the Orishas in Africa. All right.
Oh, David, go ahead. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because Black Lives Matter. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. We tend to offend. Guys, okay, so in Africa, you got this place where the gods live, Ife, okay? Now, the disturbances on Earth create a problem in Ife. So there's this guy who's kind of like Thor. His name is Shango. and he comes out of the land and he cleans it for you, just in case you were wondering, right? So he comes out of the land every once in a while and wipes out a whole bunch of people, right? Right? And then he goes back to Ife and everything is serene again. So they're like the worst neighbors you could ever have. Can you imagine your neighbor? You're playing your music a little bit too loud. Your neighbor runs in with a hammer, pummels you to death, and then goes back and crawls into bed and just snuggles up. Seriously, guys. Right? This living land, they call it the living land. It's called Ife. So the gods in Orisha are all environmentalists. Okay? If you die, you're fertilizer. They're all environmentalists, right? If you die, you're fertilizer. Everything is so that the land could live. But I could guess that depending on the condition where you are, the land is going to live. Because if you're in the Sahara Desert, you're going to believe in that shit real quick. Okay? If you live in Sudan, you're going to believe in that.
Yeah. So imagine this: you have all the gods in their individual places with all their little underground children, and the gods from Ife come down and wipe out somebody else's children. Those next door neighbors, and then you got god to god wars going on too, gangster god wars, and their kids battling each other.
Correct.
What I find scary is that, like the last 5-10 minutes, however long, you kind of describe today.
Exactly.
With everything is like we're stuck in a loop and we're just repeating everything. Like if America's built on Rome, but it's got everything a gangster, everything else like that. We really haven't evolved that much in the last 5,000 years, have we? Well, we've got an iPhone, but apart.
No, we have not. No, we haven't. And here's the thing about it. I can't leave metaphysical people out there, because if honestly speaking, we're gonna offend everybody. Let's go to the metaphysical types. If you have one universal law, but then you think that I'm closer to universal law because I know universal law, then does not mean that you're breaking universal law. Let me repeat that. That was a brain twister for you.
Logic does not apply to those people. Just like it doesn't apply to those of the other major religions where logic doesn't apply.
Yeah, right. Because I figure that if it is that you're proud that you are keeping within universal law, and you're actually breaking it by keeping it, that's a problem, isn't it?
Pretty much. Oops. Oops.
That's a paradox right there for those of you who believe in the universal construct. That's a real problem, isn't it?
I can just imagine someone remote viewing from 5,000 years ago and looking at today. It's like, it's the same. There's electricity, but that's about it. Everyone's still fucked in the head.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And that can go on a t-shirt.
Yeah, for real. And it's actually kind of hilarious to see that people are still fighting over this religious crap. They're all quite messed up. They're all fucked. They're all messed up.
What about the new religion? Because talk about NASA. Science has become the new religion. I wear a white coat, so you have to believe everything.
And atheism is a new religion too.
Yeah,
but what if you're wrong?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're reaching that top of the hour level. So we want to know who is in their bathtub. Has anyone gotten the balls to put on the truck nuts and get into a bathtub and call in?
Or ovaries, let's be fair.
Well, yeah, or ovaries. Or we have an audience full of chicken shits. If you are in the bathtub and want to call in, you go to raise your hand. No one, huh? Cluck cluck. Yes.
No one in here except us chickens. Yes.
Exactly. I know it's just a rooster hen here.
Come on, guys. I did it. Believe me, it was wonderful. It's very freeing. You guys should also get into the bathtub.
Yes, you could bring your computer to the bathroom. Just put a chair next to the bathtub. Oh my God, logic.
Unless it's a desktop.
Exactly. You can't argue for limitations with me. Extension cords.
I'll be happy if someone stands in a bucket. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour, and I'm exhausted for today. So, Monty, you want to give a way for people to get a hold of you?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is Wafer Thin Entertainment, and this show will be going up in a week's time. Also, if you want to go into the war zone, that is Twitter. It is at Real Monty Dean, and I'm on Facebook, which is just Monty Dean. And my Instagram is monty.dean, which is I just post memes, basically. So that's basically it.
And David, a way for people to get a hold of you?
Yes, you guys can get me at info@unifiedhealthsystems.com. I do answer my emails, so hit me up.
All right, everybody, we will be back this coming Tuesday for a continuing series with my mentorship students, where we will have Orchestra of Consciousness Part 3. All right, everyone, we will catch you this coming Tuesday. Take us away, Robert.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail.
Improvise. Mysterious.
It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.